All right, this lesson's entitled A Fraction is a Decimal. Say what? All right. Okay, so we've already kind of learned, hopefully, or maybe you already knew, that 16 divided by 5 can be rewritten, or excuse me, 16 over 5, the fraction, could be written as 16 divided by 5. Divided by 5. And so, since we know that, we know we can do this. We can take 5 and see how many times it will go into 16. We can do long division. In fact, let's write this a little bit bigger here. Okay, so the question that I first asked myself is, can 5 go into 1? No, it can't. Can 5 go into 16? Yeah, it can. How many times? Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 3 times. So 3 times 5 is 15. Subtract, that gives me 1. Bring down the, what do I have to, okay, so now here's where we run into issues. Can 5 go into 1? No, it can't. So usually what we would do is bring down a 0. Okay, so I'm gonna actually bring down a 0 here, and that'll give me a 10. Now, we have to be very careful, because as soon as we add in this 0, as soon as we add in this 0 that wasn't there before, we're actually creating a decimal. Okay, so come on. So we're creating a decimal, and if we put a decimal right there, we need to put a decimal up here also. Okay, so that's going to be 3 point whatever we figure out for the rest of it. All right, so let's keep going here. Um, my question now is, how many times does 5 go into 10? All right, well, I think that's 2 times. All right, so 2 times 5 is 10. That gives me 0. I've got no more numbers that I'm worried about. How many times does 5 go into 0? I don't care. I got 0. I'm done. Okay? And so my final answer then is actually whatever value, like it would normally if there was no decimals in the answer, but now there is. My answer is 3.2. 3.2. So to kind of sum this up, sorry, I want to write this a little bit nicer, but to sum up everything that we just learned, we can say this, that 16 over 5, that fraction, which is what we started with, is actually equal to 3.2 by long division. We took 16 over 5 and we said, hey, we all know that's actually 16 divided by 5. And then we went and we did the division. And then we ran into a little bit of an issue here because we had a remainder, or we would have had a remainder of 1. So we said, well, you don't want any remainders. We want to go until we get 0 or no remainder. And so we said, well, let's bring down another 0. But if we do that, we have to be careful. We need to add in a decimal point. Okay, so we added in the decimal point, we ended up with 3.2. So 16 over 5 is the same as 3.2. Let's do another one. How about 5 and 3/8? How can we write that as a decimal? Well, my trick here is to turn this into an improper fraction and then divide. The last one was an improper fraction. It worked beautifully. Let's turn this into an improper fraction and then divide. So I'm going to take, if you remember back to that one of the videos you've seen, we take 5 times 8 plus 3. 5 times 8 is 40, plus 3 is 43. So that gives me 43 over, what's the denominator? Well, it's the same. It's 8. So this is really 43 divided by 8. Okay, so let's do some scratch work. Let's actually do 43 divided by 8. 43 divided by 8. And the question is, oh, you can't see that. Oh, wait, now you can. Okay, and the question is, how many times does 8 go into 4? It doesn't. How many times does 8 go into 43? Well, let's see. 8 times, I'm going to take a guess here. 8 times 5 is 40. So I don't want to go beyond that. So I think it's 8 times 5. All right, 8 times 5 is 40. So I end up with 43 minus 40. So that gives me 3. Stop! It's hammer time. I'm going to run out of space here, and I can see that, and I apologize. But I think that I can move this whole thing over. Beautiful. Okay. Now, I've got a remainder of 3, but I want to go until I get a remainder of 0. Right? That was the whole thing. So I said, well, if I want to go until I get a remainder of 0, maybe I should just bring down a 0. That would work, except that if I do that, I gotta be so careful. I've gotta have a decimal place. I gotta add in a decimal right there in both places. So I bring down the 0, and then I ask myself, how many times does 8 go into 30? Well, let's see, 8 times 3 is 24, 8 times 4 is 32, so I think it's 3. 3 times 8 is 24. And that's 6. 30 minus 24 is 6. How many times does 8 go into 6? It doesn't. Let's bring down another 0. Okay, so how many times does 8 go into 60? Well, 8 times 6 is 48, 8 times 7 is 56. I think it's 7. 7 times 8 is 56. Subtract 4. Still not a remainder of 0. Bring down another 0. 40. How many times does 8 go into 40? 5 times. 5. 5 times 8 is 40. Subtract 0. I finally got down to 0, remainder of 0. So my answer then is simply whatever I got on top. No more remainders. It's just 5.73 or 5.375. So we could say this: 5 and 3/8 is actually equal to 5.375. Beautiful. Let's do another one. Oh, 1/4. How am I going to do this? The number on top's not even bigger than the number on the bottom. Well, let's go look. This is equal to 1 divided by 4. All right, I can do that. 1 divided by 4. That's not written correctly. 1 divided by 4. How many times does 4 go into 1? It doesn't. What should I do? Well, why don't we add a 0? Oh, yeah, because 4 would go into 10. Oh, but wait. We just added a 0. And I know whenever I add a 0, I have to add a decimal to the bottom and to the top. Okay? So how many times does 4 go into 10? Let's see. 4 times 2 is 8. So I think it's 2. Notice that the 2 goes to the right-hand side of the decimal. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract 2. It's not 0. Okay, I'm going to add another one because I can. I'm going to drag that 0 down, and then I'm going to ask myself the same question. How many times does 4 go into 20? 5 times. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract 0. Winner. Okay, so I've got down to 0, and the number that I have on top of my division here is 0.25. So here's what I can say. 1 divided by 4 is actually equal to 0.25. All fractions can be written as decimals. That's the key thing of this whole lesson. Thanks for paying attention.